Hi, everybody. Welcome to Video Content Chat. I'm Maureen Jann, the founder of SuperDeluxe Marketing, a marketing agency, and I'm here with Erika Heald. Erika, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey there, I'm Erika, and I am a marketing consultant based in San Francisco. I help startups and specialty food businesses put together their content strategies and reach people through content.
Super fun. And today we're talking about personas. We're going to talk about personas because on Monday, I am the fancy pants expert for Content Chat, the tweet chat that Erika puts on.
And so for those of you who haven't attended Content Chat before, we are an every week chat where all sorts of content creators, content marketers get together and talk about different content marketing topics. So this month we're just focused on content strategy. So I wanted to have Maureen come and talk about personas because she just has such a great process that she uses that puts together really helpful personas for creating content. And I wanted her to share that with everybody. So this is kind of your sneak peek at what you'll see if you turn up at 12 noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, and spend an hour with us on Monday.
And let's be honest, it takes one to know one, because you are great at what you do, you understand the importance and the depth that you need to go in to understand your customer. And so I'm excited to talk to you about this today because it'll be really lively on Monday, but you and I get to nerd out on marketing stuff.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Love it.
So I'd be curious, from your perspective, what is the purpose of a persona?
For me, the primary reason you want to have the persona is so that whenever your employees, your agency, anybody is creating a communication that's going out into the world, that they're actually talking to someone, some specific person with specific needs, versus just having statements that are about the brand. Because no one cares about your brand, everyone cares about themselves. So you've got to have communications that are talking to a person if you want to get anywhere.
Totally agreed. There's nothing worse than vacuum created content that speaks in corporate junk speak and offers no humanity. And I think as creators, for us, it means that if you have the demographic, behavioral, and psychological snapshot of what your customer looks like, then you can envision them as the person who is creating that content. And it gives you, not only is it great for the brand, but it gives you a clear picture of who you're writing for, who you're designing for, why this particular aspect of that would be important. And I think that that's such a critical element for exploring and understanding why people will buy or not buy your product.
Totally agreed. And I think, though, that's part of the reason that a lot of personas are not especially useful to content marketers, because you'll see some of the templates that are out there on the internet or that people have had in place. They're not really content personas as much as they are advertising demographics.
Mm-hmm.
And while when you're placing ads online, you might need to know things like what is their average income, what is their typical gender, their schooling, their, all these kinds of things. While that stuff might be helpful for, targeting, it's not necessarily that helpful for creating the content. Whereas finding out, generally they're a department of one person, or they've had a tendency to be in this job forever, things like that are really helpful. And you're not always finding that that's what's in some of the persona templates that I've seen people share.
Yeah, we focus a lot on motivation and psychological impacts of their situation because it really gets to the heart of why you need the product that you're working or service. It gets much closer to the nut of why they would buy it versus why they would pass it over. And so I usually layer it in demographic information, although I truly believe the demographic information is becoming less and less useful because people and their variety of interests have widened and broadened, and people are complex, right? And so that demographic information, even for ads, is not super helpful. You'd much rather align with a magazine that they love or
Yes.
And use that type of targeting so that you're you're making fewer assumptions about generations, because I think as generations get more exposure to more things, they have a wider interest base and they don't fit everyday assumptions or stereotypes that we might make about them.
Oh my goodness, so much this. I'm a Gen Xer, so in general, nobody targets anything to me. I am forgotten. And people make lots of wrong assumptions. But guess what? I love technology and I play online video games and I'm a food blogger and all these things that, judging from my age and demographics, maybe you'd figure that out, but probably you wouldn't.
Right. You can't make assumptions. It's not doing the people we market to a service. And honestly, we're just losing customers. We're failing to reach people. And so moving away from the demographic and more into that psychological, motivational, behavioral, relation to the content and the types of challenges you're solving with your product and service. I mean, it generally makes better sense than trying to rely on stereotypes that may or may not apply.
Totally agreed. So I think we've done a really good job here of making the case for why personas matter to content marketers. So hopefully folks will tune in to hear from you how to actually put together personas, because while they certainly do take time and effort, if you've been putting it off because you're thinking to yourself, oh, I don't have the resources to do this, I think they're going to be pretty happy after coming away from hearing from you how you approach it.
Yeah, I definitely offer a bunch of resources and give you some frameworks to get started so that you're not starting with analysis paralysis or blank slate syndrome. You look at it, you're like, oh God, how am I going to even get started? But we talk through a lot of the elements that go into a persona and help sort of flesh out a framework or an outline for people who are just getting into it. So that's exciting and that'll be really good. So.
Awesome. I can't wait to see you there.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. And hopefully we'll see you Monday. And we're going to try to do these every couple of weeks.